Okay.
Well, there we mentioned the SPLA.
Yes.
Dr. Khalid. Mubarak says, look, SPLA supported the process. We all heard very clear, loud voices from the SPLA about what their fears were about the elections. You know, nobody can deny that they knew that and said that the process is not fair and free. And the problem is, well, could I speak, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
The problem with Africa and with so many of these people peddling around from the West, you know, coming to justify and put a lot of credibility to this process, is that we are now being taken almost as second human beings after the rest. There is no reason why an African election should be allowed to be very lacking of quality. Well, the president can deny voices to speak, you know, proper freedom of assembly. These are the issues that the opposition has raised. Can ban all these newspapers and so on and so on.
Well, we're going to get into the... If you don't mind me interrupting you, I have to stop you there.
That is not right.
Because we're going to go into the wider picture of perhaps some of the reasons for international concern, particular international concern around Sudan being successful. As you're aware, al-Bashir came to power after a military coup, and some in the south are not convinced, as you hear, that he will accept the democratic process easily. And early in the election process, SPLM leader Salva Kiir was quoted as saying, "I don't have faith that they will actually organize the referendum for the people of the South as scheduled by the Comprehensive Peace Agreement." But before we look at the huge challenges ahead before the January referendum of next year, some feedback from you via text and email. And our first text is from John in Saudi Arabia. He's talking about our program on the ANC that we had. There is too much infighting and power-hungry ANC members in the party today. What has happened to their legacy? Look at the COPE breakaway group. Are there any differences between their policies? The big break in the ANC, according to me, was the sacking of Zuma by Mbeki. From Vusani in Zimbabwe, he's discussing our topic that we discussed last week on the LRA. The reason for the LRA's existence lies with the well-known diamond traffickers, some greedy African leaders and Western tycoons. And from Rita in the UK, she loves the program. Another fantastic Africa Today, exposing the horrors that are going on in the DRC. Well, the silence is deafening in the Western media. The very filthy rich Western companies are making billions on the horrific evil being done to the poor, long-suffering people of the DRC. I hope all the people making money on those poor people's suffering rot in hell. But once again, well done for highlighting the horrific things being done to our brothers and sisters. And we have an email from Adiam here to complete your contribution. In a time where government influences what is aired in the media and only half-truths about events taking place are shared with the public, I want to say thank you. Thank you for providing us with a medium where all perspectives can be heard regarding current events today. Keep up the excellent journalism. Well, thank you for your support, and we'd love to hear more about what you think. Perhaps there's something we're not covering. Email africa@presstv.co.uk, or you can text +44 78 0000 8086. And another way of sharing your thoughts on Africa Today is by joining our Facebook fan page. And the address is Africa Today, Press TV London. And if we could move on to our second part, where we're looking at the broader picture with regard to al-Bashir's victory, seeming victory, some would say seemingly assured victory. He said he has promised to form what he calls a broad coalition, as we've heard, and he has offered opposing parties positions within the new cabinet. But some consider the elections to be a total lie. In a moment, we'll be looking at the key players in the election battlefield, as well as some of the promises made during the campaign. But before that, a quick refresher with another report from Kofi Asamoah.
The current ruling party, National Congress Party, led by President Omar al-Bashir, has made some key promises to provide basic services across the country and enhance economic development.
President Bashir, under his leadership, Sudan has changed a lot. So his campaign is based on consolidating development in all aspects of life, including political, economic, cultural, and social life. On that, he will build up in electricity, in water, clean water, education, in health, in roads, and in agriculture. which is the prime wealth of this country.
His main opponent, the Sudanese People's Liberation Movement, with other parties, boycotted the elections in the north, but campaigned in the south, promising to provide basic services, health and education, protect the south's right to a state, and deliver the dividends of peace. The outcome of the elections are crucial, as Sudan is the largest country in Africa and the ninth in the world, surrounded by countries in the northern, central and southern Africa. The country's large oil finds and natural resources has drawn interest from the Chinese and other multinational organizations.
Well, hopefully some of the experiences that Sudan has undergone during the electoral process will bear fruit in terms of what happens in the referendum. If I could come and ask you, Mr. AlMubarak, do you feel that the experience of the elections is actually beneficial for the referendum process that will happen in 2011? Have lessons been learned?
Of course, because many voices which were raised before said the government is not going to hold elections. These elections are not going to be held. And now the elections have been held, they will prove them wrong. And now they say the referendum is not going to take place. The referendum is going to take place. The President Bashir said the referendum will take place and we will respect the will of the southern Sudanese people. And this is what will happen.
Yes.
But there are doomsayers, people who are always pessimistic and who do not want anything, stability or anything good for the Sudan. Also, it's not true that the SPLM has boycotted the elections. The chairman of the SPLM, Salva Kiir Mayardit, said we are not boycotting, and actually they withdrew Yasser Arman, who was standing against President Bashir.